Second Down on ESPN Radio is presented to you by the Uniform Source. We are apparently in very good mood already here.
It's Friday.
It's Friday, man. It's I think you know why I think we're in such a good mood, PJ. The weather.
Yeah, no, that's insanely true. I love it. I love it.
This is what I've been looking for.
What?
Yes.
Okay, so it's
Cold,
raining. It's
rainy.
raining hard and it's cold.
Yeah.
Y'all like that?
Mm-hmm.
Put on. You know why? You put on a sweatshirt, Cam.
Layers,
you
man.
can put on some jeans and feel comfortable.
Yes.
I got to break out the Patagonia today.
You did.
I love
that. Might
sweats.
be the whitest thing I've ever said in my life.
Say it again.
I got to break out the Patagonia today.
Patagonia.
See, I did that like during what was it? Fake fall? You were talking about?
Oh yeah, no. So for people out there who don't know,
yeah,
summer in Georgia lasts from about May until late October. But what happens is beginning of every October, a storm will roll through, and then a cold front will bring in some like 70s and high 60s temperatures, and everyone will fall for the fake fall, is what I call it. So literally you feel that crisp air the first time, and it just kind of hits you in the cheek when you walk outside. You're like, oh, everybody goes in and breaks out their flannels and their hoodies and their cute jackets and boots and jeans. And then literally by 2 o'clock that afternoon, it's 88 degrees outside. You're sweating and you're miserable, right? It's fake fall.
Then by the time you want that
and
stuff
you get
again,
second summer.
It's already stuffed back in the back of the closet again.
Yeah, and now I believe real fall is here, which is always kind of striking to me. I know this is your first football season with us, Cam, but
second.
Well, no, I'm saying like working.
Working.
The high school games. Yeah, working the high school games is you'll go out there and it's like the final week of the season is like 78 degrees and you're still in a polo and maybe some slacks or something like that. And then literally first round of the playoffs, you're like bundled up, shivering and cold, doing the games outside.
I was with PJ last Friday, and he knows it was cold.
It got down there.
It was not cold.
It got down there. It was not.
I was cold. I was out doing a game last week too.
Cold.
I think the lowest it dropped was like 68. That's
I'm bad.
Cold.
I'm bad with the
was,
weather.
It was 58 in Pooler on the roof.
So you're saying there's a 10? Oh, okay, maybe on the roof and like the wind chill, but like there's not a 10-degree separation from Memorial Stadium to Pooler Stadium.
No, I don't think so either. I think maybe you looked at it at the beginning of the game. I don't know.
I looked at it about halftime.
Okay.
Because PJ was like, do they have some hot chocolate down there? I'm like, oh yeah, it's cold.
Yeah, but I was like, you know what? They probably aren't breaking out this week. So we'll check tonight. We'll see what happens tonight, what they got at Memorial, and see if they got the hot chocolate busted out yet.
I guarantee you there's going to be some coaches out there tonight, short sleeves, socks, or not socks, the long socks, like the white tube socks,
for sure,
and the shorts, just rocking. It's like I'm not cold.
We don't let this affect us. And then by the second quarter, you see them like inching over by the heater or something like that, and it's like,
everybody get in here, everybody get real tight, everybody get in real tight.
I did not know this, guys. Tighter. Like those coaches up north that like college football, they don't let those guys like wear long sleeves.
It's not that they don't let them. It's that the players are like, I'm too tough to wear these.
Yeah, like it's a sense of toughness, man. Hey, I'm putting on the long sleeve. I don't care about looking tough.
Yeah, you'll have guys like getting warm out there in like shirtless or whatever. You'll see a lot of that, especially like the noon Big Ten games. When they're doing college game day in the next couple weeks, you'll see a lot of that like in the middle of college game. Look at
specifically at Northwestern.
Yeah, look at Terry Stikowski out here, the middle linebacker for the backup middle linebacker for Northwestern, working out without a shirt on before the game. What an animal he is. And then it's just like, all right, they're still going to get rolled by 30. Who cares?
Yeah, but they look cool doing it.
Right. Whatever.
Listen, I don't pay all this money for these arm tats to cover them up with long sleeves. I don't have. Listen, the only thing that's going on these arms are the little tiny armbands that make my biceps look bigger. That's the only thing going on these arms. I get it.
You know what is hilarious about those tiny armbands you're talking about too is what the dudes wear like 19 of them on one arm. Like what?
I think it looks awesome.
What are you doing?
I think it looks awesome.
Stopping blood flow.
And then
I'm all for it.
And then you tape the fingers up too. Oh yeah.
I'm good with the finger tape. Yeah, I like that. I like that look.
Nothing worse, and people will know this. I don't even think you have to play football. I think there's probably some like lacrosse and stuff like that. So like the males and females out there know what I'm talking about. There's nothing worse than being cold and catching your finger between something in a sporting event because you're cold, everything's just intensified, and then like some shoulder pads collide on your fingers. That's not a good feeling. Cam, I know all of your sports are always played in a climate controlled environment, inside on a
For a
hardwood
reason.
on
Yeah.
a hardwood court. So you
Yes.
don't know about that, Ife, but it is
Maybe when I was a kid.
it is a distinct pain.
No,
Having
very
your
much
fingers
so.
get crunched.
I believe it. I believe it. I couldn't go through it, so y'all guys got it, man. I can't. I hate.
But you
I
do
hate the
feel
cold.
tough when you're looking at your face mask and you just see the vapors
Oh, who doesn't?
coming out.
Yeah.
Then you take your helmet off and the steam's just coming off your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you got flames.
You don't get
coming up.
that when it's climate controlled, 73 degrees air conditioning.
Oh yes.
I was gonna
Say it
say
again.
like
Thank you.
I was
Say
gonna
it
say
again.
like getting your feet stepped on stinks, but like you got cleats on, being on the ground and getting stepped on in the cold
Love it.
with your hands, your fingers, that's a problem. Like Matt Ryan last week
That
or
was
whatever
wild.
it was. That
Football's a
was
wild
wild.
sport.
That looked like it hurt
Yeah.
for sure, of course. But then imagine that like 30 degrees. Oh god.
Yeah, well, you already can't feel your fingers in the first
Right.
place.
And then really quickly you can feel them again.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Oh, real quick.
real
yeah.
quickly. So yeah, no, that hurts. That's a problem for sure.
Yeah, but just to be fair, if we just bring it back around, if we weren't working right now, I'd probably be in the woods somewhere
Love
or
to
on a
be.
boat.
Yeah.
Like Cam would be like huddled up inside.
Oh yeah, I'll be. Man, look. No lie, it's so cold right now. I hate the cold. I
It's
turn up.
52.
That is cold. I turned up the heat last night in my apartment to like 80 degrees.
It doesn't get cold until it's in like the 20s. Like I still go outside and mess around in the 30s.
See,
20s
like,
with some wind chill,
Nah.
that's a little bit different.
yeah, I'm kind of probably hanging out inside, but unless
Like,
there's
this is-
snow on, unless there's snow on
If
the
it
ground.
wasn't,
If
I'll
there's
say
snow on the
this.
ground, I'm out in it.
I'll say this: if it wasn't raining right now, this is golfing weather.
Yeah.
Oh heck no.
I'm with PJ. I would much rather be cold
I'd rather be in the house
than to be hot. Anyway, we do have some college football stuff to talk about. No, it is.
I guess.
Hold on. Do we need to talk about Pole Assassin with Cam?
Do we need to catch up on that? I thought we were going to talk about the Braves again. You know,
Well-
they won the World Series.
Yeah, they did.
That's insane.
This is-
Wow, really?
They did win the
Parade
World Series.
today. It's
Wow.
cold there. I know they're
It is
cold out
raining.
there.
Yeah, but they're out there. But they're out there getting after it. And I don't know if the Braves are feeling any pain with the amount of champagne and Budweiser
I think
Oh,
they're
yeah.
all pretty warm.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, they're very numb.
coursing through their season,
Yeah.
through their veins. So they're good. But no, Cam, we will catch you up on Pole Assassin coming up in a little bit. But no, I do want to dive into this. There is some pretty significant news coming out of Athens revolving around this Missouri game coming up and then just the team as a whole. Number one, Georgia is facing off against Missouri this weekend. I want to pull up to make sure I get the line correct. I know I sent out all the picks to you guys, but this is a historic spread for Georgia when it comes to the
Yeah,
SEC.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
I feel like we've heard that a lot this year. Though.
yeah, but
I
this
mean,
is this
But
might be
yeah,
this
is
this
the
might be
topper.
this might be bigger. PJ, why did you respond to the email in a separate email instead of just adding it?
I
into
knew that
the-
was probably going to happen at some point. Do you want an actual explanation for that?
No, I just want you to actually respond to the email.
No, I don't want to do that unless
No, I want
unless
you to,
our email system fixes the way it makes me respond.
every week I send out the 10 games we're picking and everyone responds. And so I have it all in a nice orderly fashion there so I can make the graphic. But PJ decided to be
Uh-huh.
cool and respond in a separate email. All right.
Nothing to do with
I
being
might be
Georgia.
like
Georgia
you.
is a 39.5 point favorite.
It's-
over a conference foe Missouri.
That's insane.
You know what's wild too? I didn't even think about. I was just like, yeah, that's right. It might be historic, but it's just like it. That makes sense to me.
I don't know if I can go with that, man.
Well, we'll do that in
That's
the final
tough.
segment, but I think that's wild that Georgia is that big of a favorite over a conference foe. I'm trying to go back and see what they were against Vanderbilt because I don't think it was that much. Granted, they were on the road.
What was it, like 34?
It was up there. I think it was like
against
34,
Vanderbilt?
35,
They were on the road against Vanderbilt, but it was still they were 35-point favorites.
35,
Yeah.
and they were up what 28 to
And
nothing.
right
in the
now they're
first quarter.
39.5 point favorites. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Connor Bazelak, the quarterback for Missouri, is out.
Oh, that
I
I,
think
didn't
it's
know.
I think it's a combination
out
of a lot
yesterday.
of things.
That came out yesterday.
Oh.
So he is out, but Georgia has now lost 2 captains in a day.
Okay, I know about
Yeah.
one.
Adam Anderson, Georgia's outside
Yeah.
linebacker, is facing rape allegations. No arrests have been made in that, but he's suspended indefinitely pending
course.
the outcome of that investigation. So
Yeah.
Adam Anderson out, one of Georgia's captains. Other one is Jamari Sawyer. Georgia's left tackle is dealing with a foot injury. If you'll remember before, he had that ankle injury that he suffered in the Auburn game where Broderick Jones had to come in. Now Jamari Sawyer is dealing with a foot injury. It's Broderick Jones' time again at left tackle for Georgia. So going into this game, you are now down 2 captains. And just looking at it from a football perspective here, I don't think it inherently matters.
Nope.
Not in this game.
You are going. I don't know that it matters until 5 weeks from now.
Yeah, 5 weeks. Yeah. So you get a lot of reps in, but I mean, I think we talked about this a few weeks ago. The only way this team loses and doesn't win a championship is just based off of injuries. They've been injured all year long.
I think there's 2 things. Injuries could play a big part in it, but I think if you don't get this offense figured out.
Very true. Yeah.
Because we haven't really had a chance to talk about it, obviously for good reason. The Braves won a World Series.
They did something big, yeah.
And we had Pole Assassin. But
just derailing our
you have any idea what we're talking about?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll talk about it a little bit. But so there's been a lot of things to talk about this week. Georgia's offense was not good against Florida. Think back to that game with like 3 minutes left in the first half. It was 3-0.
Yeah.
And yeah, you had the opening drive where you get down to about the 30 and then, or I guess it was the 20, and then Stetson has the why am I now just completely blanking on the name of this penalty? Intentional grounding call,
right, yeah.
Backs them up, and then Jack Podlesny, who's had a rough year this year, misses that field goal to start the game. You're up 3-0 with like 3 minutes left, and then all of a sudden your defense just starts taking the ball away, right? You throw an interception, they bring it out to the 1, Nolan Smith rips the ball out, gives you the ball at the 11, James Cooks runs it in, right? Very next possession, I think on second down, you have Trevon Walker tipping up the pass from Anthony Richardson. Nolan Smith picks that one off. So then next play, 36-yard touchdown, right? Outside of that, you hardly did anything until the end of the game. One of your touchdowns came from Nakobe Dean picking off a pass and taking it to the house. Your last touchdown didn't come until the game was already over, and you just marched down the field just trying to kill clock, and Zamir White busted one.
Yeah.
Right? Beyond that, the offense was not good against Florida. Right. And I'm thinking about some of the other games too, where it's just, I'll say the Arkansas game, right? You were just able to run the football because they lost their mind. Like they were just playing 8 guys deep and had 3 guys down to the line of scrimmage, but there was nothing really explosive in that game, right? I'm not with you, Cam, where I think you can maintain the status quo. Like Saturday's performance is not going to win you a national championship.
No, I mean, I agree with you. That defense is generational. It's really good. But when you play Alabama or a team of a higher caliber, you're going to get turnovers, but not to the degree that we saw against Florida. You're not going to have back-to-back touchdowns where your defense puts you in good position. Offense is going to have to sustain huge, long drives. And honestly, we really haven't seen much of that this year. We've seen it in spurts.
No, I don't think it's been talked about enough how much this defense has set this offense up in plus territory. With turnovers or with just forcing 3 and outs. Like think about that Arkansas game when Arkansas would just be backed up, multiple false start penalties, and then they were backed up inside their own 10, go 3 and out and have to punt. You're getting the ball on like your 50 or their 40, right? How many short drives? I'd be curious to go back and look and see how many like 60-plus yard drives this Georgia offense has gone on this year.
Outside of like kind of the cupcake teams, if we're talking about decent teams, probably like 4 or 5.
Clemson, you didn't.
Auburn, you did.
And
but it wasn't even. It was big shots against Auburn.
Yeah.
You had the Lad McConkey throw.
Yeah. And then you had one good drive.
The thing that's worrisome about that too is that I'm sure the ones that are the, longer than 50, 60, 70-yard drives, probably a lot of those came in the Arkansas game, and probably a lot of those over the course of the season are majority run plays. Yeah. And like you said, it's
I don't know, because like I feel like against UAB, you obviously had a bunch of bombs,
of course, but
like Zamir White, that might have been Georgia's longest touchdown run this year.
It is.
I'm just thinking of it like the top of my head. There haven't been a lot of explosive runs.
Well, no, I'm not. I agree with you, but you don't have a lot of explosive run plays on the 60, 70-yard drives, right? You have kind of chunk plays that don't pick you up 45 yards at a time. It's more 5, 11, 10, like it kind of in between there. So I would say a lot of those drives have, come against Arkansas or come against other teams, and they're probably majority run plays, which again is worrisome. Is the one thing that, as you said, kind of scares me about this team. But also, I'll say this game, like the game against Florida, didn't surprise me that much or didn't scare me that much any more than I normally would be, because I thought that's exactly how that game, not with the turnovers, but with Florida being respectable on defense and playing pretty well defensively, especially when you take on Alabama in the second half and things like that. Like they've had halves of football that they've had halves of football that they've played pretty good defense. So I thought, especially also both teams coming off a bye, okay, Florida's going to play respectable defense there in the first half. Georgia's going to have a little bit of time to try and figure things out and try and get past this defense. And then at some point, they're going to turn it on. Did I think it was going to be with 3 or 4 different turnovers and setting up inside the 20 and a pick 6 and things like that? No. But it didn't scare me any more than I already was, because I kind of figured that's how the Florida game would go.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably the best performance the offense had is not its highest point output. It's probably the Kentucky game. Your first touchdown drive is 5 plays, 50 yards, and you get a touchdown there from James Cook from Stetson Bennett, and then you had a 75-yard drive and an 82-yard drive that ended with touchdowns. So in maybe your best offensive game, you had 2 drives that went for 75 yards or more.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're going to have more than that, I think, to beat an Alabama. I'm looking at the Auburn game real quick.
That is a good sign, too, because Kentucky's really good against the run, which means you probably had to go out there and make some key passes to keep those drives alive, which they were able to do.
Auburn game's right there, too. I think you had a 7-play, 70-yard drive. You had a 78-yard drive with A.D. Mitchell catching that touchdown, and then a 64-yard drive. So those are your 2 best offensive outputs so far this season. But I'm telling you, Saturday's offensive output is not going to win a national championship, and that's the goal for this team.
Yeah, it's nothing less, man. I enjoyed the SEC championship a few years ago, the college football national playoff appearance, but it's national championship time. I can't lie. Yeah,
what scares me the most too about this, and this might sound counterintuitive and odd, but I think it's a combination of it's why the point spread is so big this Saturday and probably the rest of the season. I mean, you've played Auburn, you've played Kentucky, you've played Florida. Those are all really pretty solid defenses. And in 2 of those games, like you said, you had some pretty impressive drives, pretty impressive offensive showings. But even if you look like you figured it out in the second half of the season or with the games remaining left, you're playing a lot of really bad defenses. Like, I'm sorry, but I think part of the spread
you played 3 really good or 4 really good defenses.
That's what I'm saying. There's not a lot of great defenses in the SEC right now, and there's not a lot of great defenses left on this schedule. So this is the thing that worries me with the rest of this season.
Hold on, I'm curious. Who would you consider a great defense?
Georgia has a great defense,
right? But Georgia doesn't have a great defense. Georgia, a lot of people are saying, might have the best defense in the past 30 years.
Yeah,
so I don't think it's fair to compare other defenses to that. Georgia hasn't given up more than 13 points.
Right.
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Who has a great defense?
I probably used the wrong word. They're really good. Really good. Like, Georgia has a really good defense.
I'd say like Wisconsin and Penn State.
But you're talking about in the country.
I'm talking about in the context of college football. Because you said the SEC doesn't have great defenses. I would probably disagree on that. I'd say Alabama probably has a top 10 defense when you're talking about players and execution. Do they have a crappy game against Texas A&M? Absolutely.
They're number 6 against the rush right now.
But most normal teams are going to have a crappy game, right? I'd say Penn State and Wisconsin have probably 2 of the top 4 defenses in the country, right? Georgia's number 1. Alabama has a really good defense. Florida, for as much crap as people give them, they have a really good defense. Kyrie Elam's an All-American. Brenton Cox is borderline right there, right? They Georgia, I think, has played 4 really good defenses. Clemson as an elite defense.
Yeah, they've been banged up with injuries and things like that.
Yeah, but when we started the season, they were fresh and they were ready to rock.
Absolutely.
They have one. Auburn has a good defense. Florida has a good defense. And I'm missing someone in there. But Kentucky has an excellent defense.
Texas A&M, Mississippi State.
But Georgia,
16.
I'm not defending the SEC right here. I'm defending the defenses that Georgia has played so far.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree. I just said that. I said that.
But you said the SEC doesn't have good
Clemson.
Defenses. Yeah.
I don't think they have a lot of incredible defenses this year. And look back at the past 10, 15 years. That's all we've heard about is how incredible the defenses are in the SEC. And I'm just saying that I don't think they have a lot of great defenses this year. I think you've played, like you said, 4 really good defenses. One when it was extremely healthy and isn't healthy anymore in Clemson.
And you scored 3 points against that defense.
And I think you had 2 really solid showings and 2 really poor showings. And when you look at the rest of your SEC schedule and Georgia Tech, I don't see a lot of teams that are going to test this offense. And that's all I'm saying is, like, I don't even know if you get the answers over the course of
you're not. It's going to be
the rest of the regular season.
It's going to be hold your breath for the next 4 weeks.
That's the only thing I'm worried about. That's all I was saying.
Absolutely.
Let's hold your breath until you get to Atlanta for Georgia fans, and that's if you play Alabama. Potentially, you could have a rematch with Texas or with Auburn. There is a situation in which you could play Texas A&M. So there's all kinds of funky things that can still happen, but more likely than not, it's going to be Alabama. And if I'm being completely honest right now, based off of the offensive performance and based off some of the injury news, I'd have Alabama favored in that game. I know a lot of Georgia fans won't like that. Kirby Smart has not beaten Nick Saban yet. I'm looking on that. I'm looking at who has the better quarterback. Right now, I'd say it's Bryce Young by a long shot in that game. So all things being what they are, I think Alabama would be maybe a 2 or 3 point favorite going into that game. So it is what it is, but we got to take a quick break here. We'll come back with more. We got picks coming up in a little bit. Maybe we'll explain to Cam about Pole Assassin coming up here in a second. This is Second Down on ESPN Radio. Second Down on ESPN Radio is presented to you by the Uniform Source. PJ, you and I spent some time here yesterday, but I want to take Cam here.
Welcome.
Cam, I'm going to give you context clues, and from them, I want you to try to build the story. Okay?
All right.
Texas special teams coach, because PJ, I have something to add to this. It's going to make you happy.
Oh, no.
Texas special teams coach, Passon, Monkey, Halloween. Please build a story from that.
Texas special teams coach, Pole Assassin, Monkey. I don't know.
I think it's important also. Texas special teams coach, comma, Pole Assassin, comma. Like not.
These are four separate things.
Not Texas special teams coach, Pole Assassin.
I'm just like, just go.
I would just say that's insane because I don't know. I really don't know.
All right, quick recap. Jeff Banks is the special teams coach and assistant head coach at the University of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Left his wife and kids for a lady named Danielle Thomas, I believe is her last name, or better known by her stage name when she was a exotic dancer of Pole Assassin. She had a pet monkey who performed with her. She has since retired from the game. She secured the bag, married Jeff Banks, and they live in a really nice house. They had a haunted house / maze at their house. I think it was a 12-year-old child is what they said, went through the maze, and there was a sign on a gate that said turn around, didn't turn around, went to the backyard, went around the backyard, went into another gate, and inside that gate was the pin for the monkey, stuck hand in the pin and got bit by the monkey.
Okay, that's a lot.
Just let it digest. Yeah.
Now, there's something I need to add to this, PJ, because
no.
it works out too perfectly.
Yeah.
Jeff Banks is the special teams coach and the assistant head coach.
Oh.
Once again, dating Pole Assassin.
Yeah.
He's also the tight ends coach.
This man does everything.
Yeah. I got you.
Just let that simmer for a
Makes
second.
sense. Makes sense.
You also have Cam, I just want you to look this up. Can you look up the name of Texas's kicker for me?
Texas kicker?
Yeah, you just go ahead and do that while you mentally process all of this.
Name?
Yeah, just this needs to be said. Because this is a story, like, it's college football. It's going to get buried. There's going to be so many more things. I want to give it its just due in this time and space.
I did research, and apparently Coach Sarkisian said it would not be a distraction. So
yeah, that's the best part is that Steve Sarkisian is now having to answer questions about this. College football is undefeated.
At press conferences.
I'm trying to find him.
Oh, and there's also a Twitter account for the monkey.
Cameron Dicker.
Yeah.
Cameron Dicker, the kicker.
Dicker, the kicker. Yeah. From Gus Johnson, the famous call. Yeah, absolutely.
Lord.
Also, there's a Twitter account if you want to follow it. I believe it's just Pole Assassin's monkey. And he has one tweet. And the only tweet is the kid had it coming.
Wow.
Which I would agree with.
How do y'all wait? How do y'all find out about this?
We are way too plugged in. Like we live on the internet.
Like that's what I want to know. Forget all the other stuff.
No, we live on the internet. But I will say this, if you just think about it yesterday, I think we were a little harsh on the kid. Because we basically said it was the kid's fault. Like
it is. Listen to directions.
If there's a big sign that says turn around, but I forget the legal term for it, but basically it's like if you have something in your yard that a kid could get hurt on, like it's like, oh, look at that thing, like a trampoline or a pool like that, you are responsible, even if it is on your property, for making it hard for kids to get to because kids are stupid. I forget the legal term for it, but there is a legal term. It basically means like, oh, it's on my property though. It's like, no, but still, like you are supposed to protect our youth from this. And so she may not get out of this just because the kid went to the wrong part of her property. But at the same time, you're a kid. It's Halloween. There's all this scary stuff around you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, whoa, beware. And then like, oh, that sign's supposed to stop me. So like, maybe we went a little hard on the kid.
I don't think we went hard on the kid. And I don't think we went hard on the parents. And that's where I would draw the line on this. But again, like your kid's been gone for 15 minutes. It's not going to take that long to get through this haunted house, like or whatever. And I don't know, man. Like in this instance, again, that there is legal action going against, of course, Pole Assassin, and that's again on the parents. That's on the parents. They're the only ones to do this, and that's again, it's like, oh, my kid did something wrong, but I'm going to sue you for it.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Do you think, like, what do you think the turnout was for that in the neighborhood? Because I think she put it out. There's an app where you can like communicate with each other in the suburbs, basically. And so like this neighborhood has one of the pages. When Pole Assassin puts out that there's a haunted house at my house, like, what do you think the turnout was? But all the dads were like, kill our kids.
I mean, of course, yeah.
I'm not marrying nobody that has a monkey.
That's what you're stuck on.
Yeah, that's what you're stuck on. Yeah, I am. Not marrying nobody that has a pet monkey.
It is a service animal.
It is a emotional support.
It's a registered
monkey.
service animal.
Well, still, I stand by what I say.
So you fall in love with someone, just deeply, deeply in love, and they are your soulmate. Your hearts are puzzle pieces that are now connected. But she has a pet monkey.
Kristen, if you're watching this, don't get a pet monkey. Please don't get a pet monkey.
Please get a pet monkey because I want to put this to the test.
No, nah.
I bet Cam has been like, I love you. I'll never leave you. Nothing can separate us.
Then a monkey
get him
comes
a call. Then you get him a call, and that's it.
No, man. No. But that is an interesting.
And it wasn't
story.
it's not a big monkey. It's like one of the little monkeys.
And then
those are the worst ones.
And then
how would you know this, Cam?
Because I watch videos.
Okay.
And
those things are ruthless.
And then once Cam finally accepts your monkey, let it bite a kid.
Nah.
Don't let it. Just
then see what happens.
Yeah.
Just trick the kid into, keep them. He'll get bit by the monkey. He or she, whoever it is.
Man, now y'all are
just
encouraging
again,
child mauling.
No, I mean,
I'm
not at all. That was obviously a joke, but yeah, I can't put this on Polis. Shit, they did everything they could, other than boarding up the gates and like putting 8 padlocks on it. Like, what else do you want, man? She did what she could.
I agree. I don't think Danielle's at fault at this at all.
No.
That is it's such an aggressive name.
I just wonder where
that really is.
And it literally has nothing to do with her, like her profession. Like, make money however you can. But like literally, if you were like a carpenter and you called yourself like Drill Assassin, like that is such an aggressive name. Like that's like I'd come in here and be like Mike Assassin, like just
Sports Assassin,
just take Assassin.
Oh my, what?
That is such an aggressive name.
It's
also it'll stop you in your tracks though. Like if you hear
that's
who is that?
That is correct. That's an attention grabber. You hear second down with Christian Gokel, you're like, yeah, I might listen to that.
Don't want
you hear second down with Take Assassins coming up. Hold up.
I don't want
assassants.
Part of me is like, I don't want a part of that. You know what I mean? It's like,
is that too much? That's too hot.
Is it hot? Like, dude, it's like, what are you talking about? Like Mike Assassin. Like, I don't want to listen to some dude attacking the mic. Like,
oh, that's what I do every day.
Trying to sneak up on the mic and kill it.
That's
like,
what I do every day.
This
Mike never expects what I'm
bringing. That's not what I'm here
it.
for, especially in the profession that she's in. Like, you know, like,
bro, where do y'all find this? I'm leaving. I don't know where y'all find this.
About what PJ just said right there. I'm going to try to recover. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with our picks after this. Second Down on ESPN Radio is presented to you by the Uniform Source. Host Assassin alongside
Dude, see, I'm a show host.
Shoe
though,
assassin.
Shoe Assassin.
I'm a show host. I feel like you're going to assassinate me now.
No.
It's a host assassin.
I assassinate the show.
Oh,
So I should be Show Assassin. And then you are
I do a lot
Hoodie
of that. I don't
Assassin.
know. Sure. Yeah, that's
kill
nice.
them hoodies.
Hoodie
Bro. You
did
look
that.
good. In
You
a
gotta
hoodie.
put the hood on now.
You look good in a hoodie.
Just
though.
do it one time.
Hoodie
the
mellow.
hair.
Like hoodie mellow.
Yeah.
PJ, you're going to be working in the rain and humidity tonight. Your hair's not going to make it anyway. So
No, that's insanely true. I actually like this hood a lot because it's got like the anyway.
Mhm.
Anyway,
I'm with you. No, we got some picks to get to here.
I'm keeping it on.
You should keep it on.
Okay,
That
all
looks
right, I'm
cool.
just making sure, you know.
You look like a member of Fallout Boy.
Okay, I'm down with that.
I'm kind of digging it. Here we go.
Do
10
the kids
picks
today know who Fall Out Boy is?
I hope so. 10 picks like we do every week. Cody Queen somehow is still leading our picks, even though I caught I caught up with him a little bit this past week. Cody did not have a great week. I was undefeated through like the first 6 picks and then kind of fell off after that.
That's how it goes. You always start and then you go like 6-4.
Man?
I don't have the full records. But Cam,
Yeah.
you were just 5 behind Cody last week,
Mhm.
and I can tell you. Let's look at Cam real
I
quick.
should
Cam
be like
went
6 or 7 behind.
Cam
now.
went 1, 2.
4 and 6.
Yeah, so you probably didn't catch up to Cody at all. You didn't make it any ground. I know I did. But anyway, let's just go ahead and dive into these. We have a game coming up tonight in the ACC. Virginia Tech, they are 2.5-point favorites at Boston College.
I'm going to go with Virginia Tech in this one. Boston College on that 4-game losing streak. I don't see it turning around here. Virginia Tech's played pretty solid defense all year, and I think their offense will do just enough to win.
I'm tired of showing Boston College love. They've
We should
disappointed me.
never do that. The only thing we should ever acknowledge about Boston College is Matt Ryan.
They've disappointed me like the last 3 weeks. I'm 0-3 with
Mhm.
them. And watch me give me Virginia Tech.
You should.
Watch them
I
win.
like to go with the home teams on weird nights like Thursday night and Friday night games. But I'm just going to rock with Virginia Tech. Boston College kind of fallen off a cliff since that Missouri win, and now that Missouri win does not look as impressive because Missouri's just bad. Speaking of Missouri, they are 39.5-point road dogs at Georgia.
Because of everything you just said, I think it's insanely easy to pick Georgia in this. I think.
I don't know. It's probably going to be a rainy
No, I don't know.
afternoon?
That'll just make it easier for Missouri to fumble the football or whatever. It's going to make it even tougher on their.
Can you imagine? Wait, what do you think that quarterback room is looking like? Hey, guys, listen.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Listen, we're playing Georgia, maybe the best defense of the last 30 years. Connor's out. Like, Connor Bazelak done. Like, he can't play in this one. You guys are making your first starts against Georgia.
In the pouring rain,
Yeah.
like there's going to be a lot of like muffed snaps and things like that. I don't know. Georgia's going to win this like 59-0.
Wow.
Cam?
It's going to be like 7 picks.
Give me Georgia because Bazelak isn't playing. Even if he was, I still might take Georgia. But give me Georgia.
God, that line's huge.
I can see some bad
But that's how
kicks.
big the
All
difference
that.
is between the top of the SEC
I'm
and the
gonna
bottom.
take Missouri
Like,
here and just say Georgia's not going to
Wow.
score 40. I don't think Georgia's going to score 40 points in this game. I think they probably keep it on the ground a lot, try to stay healthy.
I think their defense could score
If
30,
it's in the
40
rain,
this
yeah, I
game.
mean they scored a few touchdowns. Give me Missouri just with the points. 39.5 is a lot. I don't think Georgia scores 40 in this game. All right, number 9, Wake Forest, and this is where Wake Forest is really getting into that tough stretch. They have North Carolina this week. Clemson's coming up on the schedule, and NC State as well. Funny thing about this one, guys, not an ACC game. This is technically an out-of-conference game for Wake Forest. They are at North Carolina. North Carolina is a 2.5-point favorite at home.
That's so weird.
They did this with another team not too long ago.
Yeah. I don't know. That's so weird. Anyway, you look at it. North Carolina's favored, which I think is just embarrassing and disrespectful. And you can go back a week and a half. I'm on this show saying that I don't believe or think Wake Forest is that good, but I still respect them enough to think they should be favored in this game. And not only that, they're going to win it going away. I think they win
Wow. Okay.
by 10, 13, probably.
Who? Wake Forest?
Wake Forest, yeah.
I'm actually going to go North Carolina. I'm trying to look at their schedule real quick. I don't know if they have a big win this year. I might be wrong.
They don't.
They don't. And this is the big win right here. I think this streak for Wake Forest has been nice. It comes to the end. Sam Howell has to get a big win this year. So does Mac Brown. So
I
give me North
don't
Carolina.
I don't think that's written anywhere. I don't think they have to do. to
I
do
think it's
any of
actually
that.
written that their coach doesn't believe in them
Like, I
and,
think
and
they're-
blames the
I
media.
think their biggest win might be Miami.
Yeah.
I'm with PJ. I think Wake Forest wins this game. I'll take Sam Hartman and their weapons over.
Mhm.
I really like Sam Howell, but that offense has been pretty disappointing, and the defense is non-existent. Give me Wake Forest. All right, this one makes me upset because it's at noon, but we have the Hugh Freeze Bowl. Liberty at number 16, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a 9.5-point favorite at home. Also, maybe the two first quarterbacks off the board, Matt Corral and Malik Willis.
Exactly. Can't wait for this quarterback matchup. It's gonna be a fun game to watch for sure. And I think it's gonna be back and forth. I do think Ole Miss wins, but I think Liberty covers. So give me Liberty in this
The
one.
Flames.
Yeah.
Liberty has a top 10 defense right now, statistically, but I will go Ole Miss. Like I said last week, they should have beat Auburn. In my opinion, Matt Corral has to get a big win like that.
Yeah.
Come back, you play Liberty, you should be able to win by 10 points against Liberty.
I think we see the Arkansas offense for Ole Miss here, where they just run the hell out of the football and then just hit shots when they need to. I'll take Ole Miss covering that 9.5. This one might be the game of the day. Number 13 Auburn at number 14 Texas A&M. Texas A&M is a 4.5-point favorite at home. Here's the interesting thing here, guys. If Texas A&M beats Auburn, they then become big Auburn fans, because if Auburn then upsets Alabama and Texas A&M wins out, Texas A&M would go to the SEC championship game. Flip side of that, Auburn still controls their own destiny in the SEC West. So if they win this one, they have another tough game coming up. And then the Iron Bowl, Auburn could represent the SEC West in the SEC title game as well. So again, Texas A&M 4.5-point favorites at home.
This I'll say two things. Like Auburn, I feel like every time we pick one of their games, I pick it wrong. Like when I believe in them, I pick them, they end up losing or whatever, or whichever way you say it. I think I will say Auburn has made me believers over the past couple weeks with how they've played and the big wins they've gotten. So give me Auburn. I also think it's insanely ridiculous how highly up Texas A&M is ranked. So give me Auburn, and hopefully Texas A&M loses and
how many losses do they
slips
have?
down.
Who?
They got 2 losses.
They have 2, and they beat Alabama.
Okay,
They probably have the best win of the year.
they probably have the best win of the year with some bad losses and bad overall performances
Who'd they
all
lose
around.
to?
I don't think that's a good team.
Arkansas is a bad loss. I think you can say
And
that
Mississippi
now.
State.
But Mississippi State's number 17.
Yeah, Mississippi State's way too highly ranked too. I don't get this is exactly stop being the college football committee, all right? Because that's exactly what they do to me. It's like,
Why is Alabama number 2?
Alabama's number 2 because they have these ranked wins over
Well,
these
they
teams
lost
that
to
we
number
put in
14
at 15.
team,
Well,
and
yeah,
they beat
because
the
you
number
overranked
17
all
team.
of them. Yeah, don't do this.
I'll put it
Stop.
like this. I saw Bo Nix going
Overranking
to
everybody.
College Station 2 years ago, beat Texas A&M. Bo, I apologize. I've gone against you the past 2 weeks. I will not do it this week. Give me Auburn.
You don't have to apologize to Bo Nix, but I'll also go with Auburn in this game. All right, I just need answers on these next two. Number 17, Mississippi State at Arkansas. Arkansas is a 4.5-point favorite at home.
I think I went with Arkansas in this one.
Just
yeah,
need
I'm
answers.
going to go with Arkansas. Yeah.
Razorbacks.
Razorbacks. I'm going to go. Yeah, I don't think Mississippi State is south around. Arkansas, number 19, number 19 NC State, 2.5-point favorites at Florida State. Yeah.
Florida State, NC State always messes up. I don't know who I went with.
I don't know
in
who you
the
went with
picks,
either.
but
Cam? No, you got to go. You got to go.
Who, me? Oh, shout out to BJ Bennett, man. Florida State.
Florida State. Give me NC State on the road. All right. This one's amazing because we haven't spoken about it at all. And it's typically one of the biggest games of the year. LSU at number 2, Alabama. Alabama's a 28.5-point favorite over LSU.
and if they come out and play their best game offensively, I think they could cover. But I'm going to go with LSU. Both teams coming off a bye. LSU hopefully a little bit more healthy, and they show up sometimes this year, right? So maybe they show up for this one.
Oh, Bama. Roll Tide roll. So give me Bama.
I think LSU covers in that one. All right, quickly on these next two. Tennessee's a 1-point favorite at number 18, Kentucky. So this one's basically just a pick 'em.
Kentucky's really good against the run, but that's not going to help them against Hooker. So give me Tennessee.
Yeah, if Hooker's playing, give me Tennessee.
It's at Kentucky. Give me the Wildcats. Florida, coming off that Georgia loss, they are 20-point favorites on the road at South Carolina.
I'll go with Florida. They'll be fine.
Give me them Gators. Yeah.
Yeah, Florida's going to absolutely bury South Carolina because they have to. We'll be right back right here on Second Down. Final segment coming up next. Second Down on ESPN Radio is presented to you by the Uniform Source. Christian Gokel alongside Cam Ursery. Big show coming up today on 3 and Out. Jared Binko, athletic director for Georgia Southern, going to be joining us at the top of the next hour. Obviously, Clay Helton introduced yesterday, Cam, and I really like what he brought to the program there. Again, Clay Helton, the new head coach at Georgia Southern, and he had his introductory press conference, and he said all the things that a coach is going to say. But I thought the cool thing was he really emphasized kind of the fact that Georgia Southern is an untapped resource right now. And he's kind of excited because you have Jared Binko, who came in just before the pandemic and kind of had to deal with all of that, and then making the move and hiring his head coach. They kind of see Georgia Southern as this, I don't want to say reclamation project. It's more of, we have this amazing base we can build on. We see the success Coastal Carolina's had. Potentially, we ask them about the 12-team playoff in the future. They don't see themselves just competing to try to win the Sun Belt. He wants to make Georgia Southern one of those nationally recognized Cincinnati-esque programs, and I thought that was really cool hearing that from Clay Helton yesterday.
No, that's really cool. I mean, you got somebody of his stature coming in, former coach at USC. That's a big program. You come into Georgia Southern, and he's basically telling you, hey, I mean, it's nice to compete for the Sun Belt, but we get an opportunity to compete for the college football playoffs. Why not be Cincinnati and the UCFs of the world? So
I thought I was really impressed with that. But again, Clay Helton introduced. Jared Binko going to join us next, coming up here on 3 and Out. But quickly here, before we move over to 3 and Out, the Ahmaud Arbery trial obviously starting down in Brunswick. Want to give our thoughts and prayers to the Arbery family as they deal with that. And we hope justice, or I'll say I hope justice prevails. I don't want to speak for you guys, but hope justice prevails in that trial that, again, begins today. Opening statements were this morning, and we'll try to keep you up to date as news breaks. Jared Binko up next.